Have you faced any academic challenges, and how have you overcame them?
I feel like my biggest academic challenge was definitely the language barrier. With English not being my first language, it has made it interesting at times. I remember when last year I had to take English Comp 1 and 2. And there was a point where I told my professor, I'm like, I'm writing my essays in Afrikaans and translating them because my English just doesn't work at sometimes, and like my words and my sentences just don't make any sense.
That's fair.
So I feel like that has definitely been my biggest academic like struggle, but also it's like I've been trying to like work through it, and like people have been like the athletic academic center has been helping with it a lot. So, and luckily all my professors are very understanding, so that helps too.
You said English is not your first language. What is your first language?
Afrikaans is my first language.
Okay. Do you
Yes.
speak any other languages, or is it just the two?
I'm fluent in those two. I do understand German, and I do understand Tuane still. I can't speak it anymore because I'm just so out of practice. I haven't spoken it in so long. But yeah.
Awesome. Okay. What do you miss most about being home?
Being home is what I miss most about being home.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah, no, but like for a specific answer, I definitely say my family. I miss my family a lot. Like since they're like the reason I'm here, and they're the reason I have a really good support system, and it's like I feel like I'm super privileged to have such a strong base that I can say that I'm going back to. And definitely food. My mom's cooking, my mom's food, big campfires, being able to just be free. It feels like in like stuff that I've just taken for granted while I lived there, like having such clean organic food and like clean air everywhere, not buildings everywhere. I feel like coming here, that was a big thing for me. It's like everything's processed and everything's like in like it's cities everywhere, so I feel like that's definitely something I miss from home.
Yeah.
All the open space.
For sure. Can you tell me what it is like being recruited in another country and then being recruited to go compete in another country?
So the recruiting process for international students is obviously a little bit different, since coaches can't really come to our meets and like see us compete like in live action and in an actual event because we're so far away. So in my case scenario, I went to the Junior World Championships, and after watching the live feed, the coaches started calling me, and they were like, what's going, like, would you be interested in coming to the States? Like, would you be interested in doing this? So that was definitely, it's definitely different. Like, I've seen how a lot of my teammates have been recruited here, and I would say the process is obviously streamlined a lot more towards American students. But I feel like for me, it worked out really well, and I had a good recruiting experience through coach.
That's awesome. Do you plan to stay in the United States after graduation? Why or why not?
No. At this current moment, in this current place and time where I'm at, I do not think I would want to stay in the United States after I graduate college, just because of the farm back home and the businesses back home. I would want to go there and go make my business a success and just spend time with my family when I'm done with this. But also on the other side of it, if I'm a competitive athlete by then and performing really well, I would reconsider to stay here with my coach, just because we understand each other and we've been making a lot of progress together, and athletically that would make sense. But I feel like that is also somewhere very far in the future, and there's definitely still a lot of water that needs to flow under the bridge before I make a definite decision.
Yeah, you still have a lot of time before that point comes.
Yes.
So, okay, awesome. What are your career goals after completing your studies?
Well, that splits into two, obviously. So academically, I would say to get my business off the ground, to make it a success, and to run my part of the farm as successfully as I possibly can. And then athletically, it would be to go to the Olympic Games, be a competitive athlete on an international circuit, be a world champion one day would be great, an Olympic champion, And if I really, really can, and I'm really gonna try, be a world record holder or Olympic record holder at some point, yes, like athletically, those are the big dreams I'm chasing.
That's amazing. That is really cool. Obviously, being an Olympian is a big deal. So
Yes.
I'm sure you would make your home country proud with you representing them at the best level of sport there is. You know.
It would be great. Yeah.
Yes.
We have not had a lot of Olympians. I think my country has only had about 4 Olympians in its entire history. So that would be great.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay. What kind of support services are available to help international students at OU, and do you use them?
That is one thing I really need to compliment OU on, because they have a lot more like services in place for international students compared to other universities. Like coming here and visiting all the universities, like OU was definitely one of the ones that is more set up to receive international students, and you can see that in the amount of international students coming here now. I feel like the population is growing like immensely. So we have an entire international students organization, which I think they send me about 1 or 2 emails a day with events and like gatherings they're holding to like motivate people to keep their culture here
Yeah.
and to encourage people to bring their home culture here.
Yeah.
So, which is really great. I feel like there's not a lot of like when international students come to the States, they kind of lose their culture and they kind of lose where they came from. But they really like motivated and like are really like trying to encourage international students to like have their culture here and not let it go. I have been. Do I use it? Probably not as much as I should. I have been to 1 or 2 of the gatherings, and I've met a few other South Africans on campus, that way. But I feel like it's my team's fault. They make me feel so at home that I don't feel like I need to like brought out in order to accept my culture. I feel like my team does a great job at accepting my culture and being interested in it. So
Yeah.